These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Samson article quote, instead of the President of the Republic, the Sudanese in participates in the United Nations General Assembly meeting, quote, Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani is scheduled to participate in the annual meeting of the United Nations General Assembly next week. Mark Z via PDK member comment says, I am hearing Tuesday is our day. Mark Z says, that timing certainly fits. We are also expecting the announcement from Iraqi officials here in the States at that time. Claire has an article, quote, announcement of a tender for supplying, installing, and operating counting and sorting machines and currency packing machines. Another quote, the Central Bank of Iraq announces the conduct of a public and private tender to equip, install, and operate machines for counting and sorting Iraqi and foreign currency dollars, and euros, number 30, and currency packing machines number 4, machines for the Central Bank of Iraq / Kurdistan region branch / Erbil. Rayran98 via Sweet Peas 7, the clock is ticking and I'm fixed on a set time for today. Angel 1 says there is one more requirement the WTO is asking from Iraq, and that is to change their exchange rate. That is what the WTO is waiting for. Frank26, CBI put out a RFP request for proposal tender. Shan Doddle says it appears to be the government of Iraq is seeking contractor bids for the purchase of machines used to count, sort, and pack currency. In my opinion, that would be for the new currency in the lower denominations in the new small category notes. Frank says this is fantastic. Then an article comes out and says this tender will be accomplished by October 22nd, 2023. October 22nd is simply the time limit parameters of this tender. You think it's going to take until the 22nd? Frank says no. Militiaman has an article, quote, instead of the President of the Republic, the Sudanese participates in United Nations General Assembly meeting. United Nations General Assembly meeting scheduled to be held Monday, September 18th, 2023. There's obvious motivation for him to move up his schedule from the 20th to the 18th. Is there more to the story than meets the eye? Militiaman says he would have to be awfully motivated to move things along so quickly now. The UST apparently wrapped it up in Baghdad this week, and from the successes of those meetings that were going on, they may have allowed for urgency of him to arrive in the USA. Militiaman says, I like it. All right, Sandy Ingram says, good news, Iraq and the U.S. hold financial reform discussions in Baghdad. This little meeting, not reported in the mainstream news, tells us the U.S. may be ready to help Iraq move towards significant growth in its currency. At least we hope that is what this meeting is pointing to. Bruce via Wiser Now says information is coming in. Most likely we'll see something on Monday. Now it could be notifications. It could be the start of exchanges. Caparoni says Iraq can talk about the WTO all the time and they can get excited about joining, but it's all hype until Iraq it creates the conditions for them to be a full member. Currently they are still 90% dependent on oil exports. Frank26, Firefly, Sudani said he is not worried about the parallel black market. They have a mechanism which is about to be implemented that will be down the dollar and make the dinar strongest. Frank says, what? God almighty, holy guacamole. All right, Mark Z via PDK question. Fact or fiction, some dinar sellers are being told they can no longer sell. Mark Z's answer is fact. Some of the smaller dealers have had their supply and purchasing limited as what they can buy at all. Yes, I have talked to a couple of smaller dealers that have had their access cut off so they can no longer get it. They can no longer get dinar. So this is important. So is this important, or is this the U.S. stopping dinar from getting outside and flowing to Iran?